Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tear into a pretty brutal protest song. It's one that holds a mirror up to all of us, and it's told from a really unique and cynical perspective.
So let's just jump right in. The song doesn't start with, a nice melody or a guitar riff. Nope, it kicks off with a straight-up confrontation. It's this primal sound, an imitation, right? And it immediately sets the stage. There's an animal looking at us, and let me tell you, it is not impressed.
Okay, so here's the core idea of the whole thing. The song's called Poor You, and it's basically this scathing critique of us, of human society, told completely from the perspective of an ape. And that it's not just some random monkey noise, it's mockery. It's the ape imitating us, throwing our own sense of superiority right back in our faces. But here's the thing, this whole concept has some surprisingly deep roots. To really get what makes this song so powerful, you've got to understand that this isn't just some random, edgy gimmick. It's actually a direct nod to a major piece of classic literature.
Yeah, the whole idea is lifted straight from a short story by none other than the master of existential dread himself, Franz Kafka. The story is called A Report to an Academy.
Okay, now this is where it gets really clever. The song takes Kafka's idea and just completely flips it on its head. See, in Kafka's story, you have this ape, Red Peter, who basically says he had to become human to escape his physical cage. It was his only way out. But the narrator in our song, it looks at all of us, at our humanity, and sees, well, just a much bigger, more complicated cage.
So that's the absolute key here. The song uses this literary connection to pose a really brutal question. Is this whole civilization thing we're so proud of, is it actually progress? Or did we just trade one type of cage for another, slightly more comfortable one?
All right, so now that we've got the foundation set, let's dig into the lyrics, into the indictment itself. Because this song just goes through and systematically takes apart modern life piece by piece. And trust me, it does not pull any punches.
So, where does it start? Right at the top. The first target is our entire social structure. You know, all the stuff we think makes us so special, so elevated above the animals. Yeah, the song just dismisses it right out of the gate.
The argument here is that our laws, the 9-to-5 grind, all the social rules we have to follow. You might think that's freedom, but the song says, no way. It's all just a fancier version of monkey laws. They're just rules that keep us in line, trapped in a cage we built for ourselves.
Okay, next up, the song sets its sights on something huge, our relationship with the planet. And this verse, man, it just perfectly nails one of the biggest conflicts of our time. And what it really highlights is this massive hypocrisy at the heart of our consumer culture, right? We work like crazy to buy stuff we don't even need, creating literal mountains of trash, and then we have the nerve to act all shocked and sad when the planet is screaming for help. This song basically calls it what it is, a kind of collective insanity.
And just when you think it can't get any sharper, it does. The critique turns to our morality. This line isn't just a suggestion, it's a straight-up accusation of some seriously deep-seated hypocrisy.
I mean, it points out this giant, glaring contradiction between what we say we believe in and what we actually do. It's calling out the absolute absurdity of, say, praying for peace on one hand while starting wars for oil and money on the other.
And that flows right into the next big theme. War and power. The song looks at things like patriotism and going to war, and it doesn't see nobility. It sees something primitive. It sees manipulation.
The way the lyrics frame it, soldiers are basically just pawns in a bigger game. They're marching off like good apes do, all for the benefit of these men in suits. The faceless, powerful people who get rich from it all while never having to face the consequences themselves. It's a classic and totally brutal take on how power really operates.
All right, so we've had the critique of our society, our systems, our wars. Now the song turns the lens inward. It's setting up the final punchline. And this one is aimed squarely at our souls, with maybe the most provocative question of the whole song.
It kicks off by highlighting this deep emotional numbness in our modern world. It's like, yeah, we're amazing at building things, we're tech geniuses, but somewhere along the way, we've lost something really important.
We've built this incredible world of glass and steel and screens, but what's the result? We feel empty inside. The song says we bow to screens, and it's so true, isn't it? We're addicted to this constant fire hose of news and updates, and then we sit around wondering, why do I feel so alone? Why do I feel so disconnected?
And that all leads up to the final, devastating punchline. After showing us how self-destructive, irrational, and emotionally numb we are, the monkey just asks,
You're gonna call me the beast? Seriously? The joke's on you. So, after completely taking apart human society, piece by painful piece, the song gives its final verdict. And it is chilling. There's no happy ending here. No, we can fix this call to action. All that's left is a prophecy.
The end of the song just paints this picture of our whole world collapsing. The cities of steel and glass, they're gonna crack, they're gonna crumble. Nature, the jungle, it's gonna survive. But that last line, wow, it's a final door slam.
And this is so important to get. This is not a story about humanity getting a second chance. It's a judgment. It's saying, yeah, nature will heal itself. It'll take back everything we've destroyed. But us, our species, we're not invited to the party. We blew our chance.
Look, the song is a critique, for sure, but it leaves us with a question that feels more, more urgent today than ever before. When you think about climate change, about all the political division, about how isolated we can feel in our digital world, you have to ask yourself, when this monkey holds up a mirror, how much of your own face do you see looking back?